So I'm not sure I'm calling this like an episode, I guess, of dating after a toxic relationship, but I was sitting outside tonight thinking about a few things and just kind of wanted to get a few things off my chest. I've been working with a few people lately who are in relationships that are not ideal. Toxic, some, yeah, some just bad relationships or whatever, trying to help people to kind of help them to see like what's going on and guide them in the right direction because I can't pull anyone out of a relationship. I can't fix anyone. I can't do those things. All I can do is plant seeds. But today I started thinking of a few things. Holidays are coming, right? So it's super tough around this time of year to end something with somebody or to walk away from something that is no longer serving us because of the holidays, because we have Thanksgiving, Christmas, all these other things. But if you've been in the same relationship with somebody for the past few years or whatever, and you know what the holidays are going to bring, it's not worth staying in. So I was thinking back today to my toxic relationship and how I felt it was better to be with somebody than to be alone until I was alone. And then I realized, what the hell was I doing? I'm going to take you back a little bit. A few years ago, uh, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is always a little interesting for me because it's my dad's birthday and I lost him like 23 years ago. So I'm always like, oh, it's my dad's birthday. Whatever, it's fine. But this particular New Year's Eve that I'm going to talk about, I was back in Massachusetts for this holiday and I was with Toxic X. That night, we were supposed to go to his brother's house for a New Year's Eve party or whatever. I wasn't super thrilled about it because I didn't really know anyone. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I usually got yelled at for whatever I was wearing, so I was kind of nervous about that. But so we got in the car and we started driving. Everything was fine. Normal. Everything was fine. So we had to eat something and then go to the grocery store to get something to bring to his brother's house. So short on time, I stopped at McDonald's, went inside and ordered, whatever. So I was kind of looking at the menu and I noticed that on the menu they said put in calories and all the nutrition information. So I said to the child on the other side of the counter who was maybe 16, I was like, oh, good way to make you feel guilty about ordering something or whatever. Ha ha, it was just funny. So got the food, whatever, ate it. Everything was fine. Everything was fine until I got in the car. So when we got in the car, he got super pissed at me. Started calling me names. Told me I was interested in being with that child. Insinuating that I was trying to hit on him and flirt with him right in front of him. I was kind of shocked. Like, what? It was like a comment, off the cuff sort of comment about the menu. Like, what the heck? We went to the grocery store and that was horrible because he was angry and he was pissed off and he was going up and down the aisles trying to find whatever the hell it was that he was looking for, and then getting in the car, it was a silent treatment. And then getting to his brother's house, it was this amazing facade of how happy he was and how happy he was with me and how happy we were together. Meanwhile, he's pinching me and he's pissed off at me and he won't speak to me and he won't make eye contact with me. All of this because I asked the kid at McDonald's about the calories on the menu. Wasn't the first holiday that was ruined. It wasn't the first New Year's Eve that was ruined. But I'll tell you what, since that relationship has ended, I spent 5 New Year's Eves, am I saying that right? On my own, doing whatever it was I wanted. One year I was sick, I think with the flu. And at midnight, I took a dose of NyQuil. Much better than the McDonald's New Year's Eve. Much better. I was sick. I couldn't even function. And I still had a better time by myself while I was sick. Last year, I was dog sitting on the couch in my friend's living room watching TV, and I had just a little bit before New Year's started talking to the guy that I'm dating, and he texted me at midnight and said Happy New Year, and that was amazing. Much better than the ones I've had before. So the thing about it is this is like, you can be in a relationship with somebody and you can be suffering on your birthday, you can be suffering on Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween and any random Tuesday. You can be suffering because that's what they want. They want to control you. They want to make it miserable for you. There was absolutely no reason for him to get so mad at me about a comment that I made to a kid on the other side of a counter at McDonald's. Absolutely no reason. So the whole night was ruined. It was terrible. I remember going to bed and just being like, what the hell just happened? I don't understand why this entire night turned out that way. But it's what they do. And I do know this. I do know that on the other side of a toxic, abusive relationship is freedom. And it's scary because it seems like, well, if I'm not with him, who am I going to be with? It's not about who you're going to be with. It's not. It's about getting healthy. It's about getting away from somebody who's abusing you, who's just treating you like absolute shit. So it's not like, oh, if I leave this guy, who's going to want me? Who cares? You want you, right? Like, you want you. Your kids want you healthy. Your kids want you happy. Your friends want you happy and healthy, and your family does too. So it's not about who you're going to be with after this toxic person is gone. It's about saving yourself. It's about being happy on your own, figuring out who you are, living the life that you want to live, laying on your couch, texting a guy that you just met on New Year's Eve. That's what it's all about. Yeah, but you got to get there. You've got to leave this. You've got to heal. You've got to do these things, because it's not about who's going to want you and who's going to be with you and who am I going to be with when I'm 50. Who cares? If you're not healthy and you're not happy, you're going to continue the same patterns. You're going to keep finding the same guy. If I hear the people say this to me one more time, I keep finding the same guy. No, you're not finding the same guy. You haven't healed. You're not healthy yet. So you have to heal. You have to get through things. And then you're going to notice that the people that you start attracting will not be the same at all. They're going to be different. So we date like what we're ready for. So if you're finding the same person, it's because you're not ready yet. It's because you're not healed. It's because you've been through a bunch of stuff and it's super hard to get through it. So we repeat the same habits. We feel like we need to be with somebody because that's what society tells us. Like, it's so hard to be alone for the holidays. From my point of view, it's not, because I remember one of my most favorite Christmases, Christmas Day, was the day that the first time ever my kids were with their dad on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I woke up on Christmas Day to a big giant house with nobody in it but my mini schnauzer, the green monster. She has since passed. But I woke up that morning and Monster and I sat on the couch and I had the dumbest smile on my face because I had no one to take care of. No one was harassing me. Nobody was calling me names. I didn't have to stress out about anything. I didn't have to look a certain way. I didn't have to watch what I was saying. I just sat there and I felt like it was just the most freeing thing. And then I had movie tickets to go see, I think it was Through the Woods with Johnny Depp. Got to the movie theater. I knew about 4 people there. So that was amazing. So I got to see people. After that, I ended up going to my friend's house, and my kids ended up being there because they were like, hanging out with her son. So it was such an amazing day, but it was one of those things where it sounds so scary. Like, waking up on Christmas morning, it's like the saddest thing ever. No, how about just not waking up at all because some freaking guy kills you because you stayed too long? How about that? It'd be better to wake up by yourself on Christmas Day than not wake up at all, am I right? So the thing is, like, we've got to face these fears and really get strong about being alone. That if you're staying with somebody because you're afraid of being alone, then you're definitely staying for the wrong reasons. I mean, I get why people stay, obviously, because I did the same thing. But I'm here to plant a seed and to let you know, like, what's waiting for you on the other side is amazing. You're going to have to be alone for a little bit. Yeah, you are. That's just the fact of the matter is you're going to have to be alone. And you're going to find that it's not the worst thing that ever happened to you. It'll probably be one of the best things. I know for me, being alone after everything happened, trying to date again, but it just made me feel worse. And then I got used to it. not like used to it like Groundhog Day used to, like, oh, ho hum, I'm by myself. I got used to it, meaning I could pack up and go, get on a plane. I could go with my friends, or I could stay home. I could do whatever it is I wanted to do. And I did what I wanted to do. I got to make decisions. When I got divorced, my therapist was like, the one thing you're going to have to get used to is making decisions. And at first, I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. But then you do. And you have to make a lot of decisions. And it's scary at first, but then you do get used to it. And then you like it. And then you start living. Because right now, you're in a relationship maybe where it's like, sometimes you're walking on eggshells, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're not. Sometimes he's home, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he comes home, sometimes he doesn't. So it's like, what do you do in those moments? I mean, it's one of those things where it's like we are not super strong, amazing women because we can tolerate a man treating us like shit, and vice versa. That's not what that is. And I understand people stay for different reasons. I get it. And it is hard to leave because in mine, I had the money. I had the house. I had all of it. It wasn't like if I left, I was going to have to go and find a place to live and all this stuff. No, I had it. I had it all. I had everything. He's the one that had nothing. And I still couldn't let go. So trust me, I know what it is to stay with somebody for all the wrong reasons because I did it. For me, mine at first was long distance. All I literally had to do was hang up the phone. That's it. That's it. Literally, that's all I had to do. And I couldn't do it. So if anyone, understands about staying for too long with somebody that's not good for them, it's definitely me. But like I said, I'm here to plant some seeds and to let you know, because like nobody told me this. Nobody told me that on the other side of a toxic relationship was this. Nobody told me that it was this. Nobody told me that it was relaxing and it was fun and it was easy and it was calm and it was awesome, because then you do get to date again. You do. You get to then you get to pick who you want to be with. You get to pick it. Like, that's amazing. Like, you get to go out, you get to meet different people, you get to experience different things. You make a lot of different memories, some good, some annoying, some bad. I would not recommend writing a book about it. But it's definitely more fun. You get to see a different side of your kids. Your kids get to see a different side of you. My son is in Germany, and I talked to him the other day. We did a FaceTime, and he asked me about the guy that I've been dating, because my kids ask about him. It's really a nice feeling. So he asked me how his birthday went. So I kind of started telling him some stuff, and I was like, yeah, he seemed to be super happy. He had a big smile on his face. And my son, oh my gosh, he was so happy. He was like, really? He's like, he was happy. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, this is so awesome. He's like, I'm so happy that he had a great birthday. Not even happy that it was great with me or anything, but it was great that he had a great birthday. And great that, I was a part of it, and that my son got to see how happy I am and how nice it is and how just good it feels. And it's, even before I started dating somebody, I was so happy. I was living my life. I was kind of doing my thing. I was, here and there and happy. There wasn't anything wrong with my life. Still isn't anything wrong with my life. But it's a hard place to get to. It's a hard place to get to because my kids saw me go through the divorce with their dad, which wasn't easy. Then they saw me in a toxic, abusive relationship with a guy. And then they saw me completely fall apart and turn to drugs and alcohol because I couldn't handle it. My kids saw all that. And then they saw me get back up. They saw me pick myself back up and heal. And now they're seeing me happy and healthy, and they're not afraid to leave me alone, and they're not afraid to talk to me, and they ask me questions, about dating and all these different things, and my relationship with them is so much better. So that's the thing, is your kids see what you're going through, and they love you, but they hate you for it because they don't want to see their mom or their dad going through really painful, horrible stuff. My son wrote an essay for college, and I read it today, and it was excruciating because of the stuff that he went through with things that he had to experience, and I didn't realize it until I read this essay, and it was heartbreaking. But these kids are human too. We're shaping them. They're going to grow up, and they're going to turn into whatever the heck it is we are. So if we're in a toxic relationship, they're either going to grow up to be in one, or they're going to grow up to be the toxic person, because they're seeing two things, and through their eyes, they have two options. I mean, they're going to beat the crap out of this person and call them names, or I'm going to let the person beat the crap out of me and call me names. So that's a big thing that we have to consider, is what the kids go through and what the kids see and how it affects them. I read this paper and it talked about, my son who couldn't get through class. His grades, he wasn't doing well with his grades, and he didn't know what to do, and he felt lost and he felt alone. And as a mom, gosh, that was heartbreaking to read. So our kids look okay. They look happy, they look healthy, they look okay, but they're not always okay. And they don't know how to express it. They don't know how to say, you know what, Mom? I don't like the way this guy's treating you. I think you should have him leave. They don't know how to say those things because they want you happy, and you go back and forth. You put on the miserable face, then you put on the happy face, and they don't know what the hell's going on. So it's a tough thing, but on the other side is happy kids, healthy kids, kids that want to hang out with you again, kids that respect you again, kids that are no longer afraid of you being by yourself. So on the other side of that toxic abusive relationship that you're in, on the other side of those crappy Christmas mornings, on the other side of those dreadful New Year's Eve nightmares, on the other side of those birthdays where he doesn't show up, or he shows up and he's intoxicated and he ruins everything, on the other side of those random Tuesdays where he just doesn't come home from work and you don't know where the hell he is a life that's waiting for you, a life that's good and happy and healthy if you allow it to happen. So if you're in something, think about leaving. Think about what your life could look like on the other side. And I don't know, no one told me any of this. Nobody sat me down and said, listen, fucking shit up. Like, get it together. Because our friends and family, they don't know what to do with somebody in a situation like that. So, and we defend that toxic person. We defend them. It's insane. But right now I can say that I'm super happy with a person that I met. And it's been 12 months. He has never called me a name. He doesn't yell at me. He doesn't put me down. He doesn't insult me. He doesn't hit me, which is great. He's respectful and he's nice and he's funny and he doesn't get drunk and do crazy things. So that's also pretty awesome. And he has a great relationship with his mom. But it's awesome. Like, all the healing I did was so worth it to end up in this place. And not just because there's a guy involved, but because I'm just healthy again and happy and healthy enough where I could allow somebody to come in and be nice to me, which was tough at first and still sometimes kind of tough. Like, what's his ulterior motive? But he keeps showing up. No matter how much I push him away, he keeps showing up. He keeps calling. He keeps texting. He keeps doing this crazy thing where he like says he's gonna do something and then he does it. So it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. So anyway, if you're in this situation, think about leaving. Think about your kids. Think about you. Think about if you left today, what next Christmas would look like, or your next birthday, or your next holiday party. I had holiday parties I couldn't bring him to because I was afraid he was going to get super drunk and he was going to embarrass the crap out of me. And I talked to one of my clients today who has the same fears. And I'm like, ooh. So that conversation today kind of triggered a lot of stuff for me, which made me want to do this and just let people know that you're not alone. You can leave. And on the other side of leaving is a happy life and a healthy life. So anyway, if you need help with any of that, check out my website, kellysmithauthor.com. I do relationship coaching and dating coaching, that sort of thing. And I can help you leave a toxic relationship behind. Can't help you get out. If you're not out of it, I can't help you. But once you do get out, I can help you all day. So check it out and let me know.